Many of the best bananas are actually bananas with seeds in them. They're so sweet, they're like candy.
They're like candy.
Candy. Believe it or not, most bananas have a little bit of sourness to them. This doesn't. It tastes like candy.
It tastes like candy.
So if you fertilize, you're going to get a faster fruit, you're going to get bigger fruit, you're going to get a tastier fruit. They also found that if you don't even need the leaves on the top. So why do we even have leaves, right? There is no free lunch in nature. If something gives something, they also take something. The flower is also, you remove it. Some people keep it, but I don't need to keep it because, I mean, I eat the flower.
The bigger the flower and the more fruit?
No, the more the fertilization, the more fruit it's going to open. The core of the banana is actually edible.
Variegated bananas, wow.
One on the right is the II, and one on the left is the Florida variegated. And the red ones are the Siamese red. They are really, really tasty bananas. It's in my top 3. Pisang Kalang is a good one. Really good banana. Has a hint of strawberry to it.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and today I have a video I'm so excited about. Lately I've been doing videos on bananas, and I'm really excited about the bananas I'm growing and the varieties I'm growing. And today on the show we're going to have my friend Bobby, who I've had on before. And Bobby has an amazing tropical farm. He has 5 acres of so many fruit trees. It's amazing. But every time I go there, we speak about a lot of the different hard to find fruit trees, but he has a wonderful selection of bananas. And today we're going to talk about his selection of bananas. He has some really good varieties, and then he has some really hard to find varieties. Because if you know Bobby, he doesn't just settle for the common variety. He wants to get the real exotic stuff. And while I'm here showing you this, let me show you my tree here. This is my apple banana, a Manzano banana. It's actually a tree that Bobby doesn't have. And we have some really exciting things. I checked it yesterday, and I have my first banana flower on this tree, and that's a big flower. On this Manzano banana. So that's that banana. And I have a bunch of other varieties in the back. Now we're gonna go to Bobby, and Bobby's going to tell you all about bananas. So here it goes. All right, everybody, here we are back at Bobby's property. I'll put some links below to the time we were here last time. And last time we were here, we spoke about just about everything except what we're going to talk about today. Bobby has a bunch of amazing exotic tropical fruit trees, amazing greenhouse, but he doesn't have, I mean, we didn't talk about bananas last time. So how you been doing since last time we were here?
Good, been busy working, hardly staying home these days for work, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. So, yeah, the cold is coming now, so kind of time to protect some of the trees. And
yeah, you have a lot of amazing fruit trees, your main greenhouse. Here we are in South Florida, and for some reason, every time we've been there, we never spoke about your bananas. So how many different banana trees you have? Is it just this area, or do you have many other bananas?
I have bananas in this area. I have one in near the tiki hut, and then a bunch of rows on that side, and a couple of rare bananas in the greenhouse. Like the one in the greenhouse would be the pink banana, the couple of different variegated bananas which make amazing fruit. People think some of the variegated bananas are ornamental. It's not. Then I have a Siamese red, which is kind of ornamental. So yeah, a few bananas inside the greenhouse, but these are the eating bananas, some of my favorites.
Now, before you tell us your favorites, where are you from?
I'm from India.
Okay, so how many different varieties of bananas would you say you tasted in your life?
At least 40.
At least 40.
Yeah, like different stages, different places. See, I travel a lot too, so I would say at least that. Many of the best bananas are actually bananas with seeds in them. I love.
Are there some bananas around the world that won't grow here in South Florida?
A couple of them I know wouldn't. One of them is the Musa Indians, you know, the tall banana, the really huge Musa Indians, like they make the big fruit, the huge, like 100 feet tall. I know that wouldn't do well here. Some of the variegated ones, they would need to be tropical. I think minimum zone 11A, like I'm a little bit towards the inland, so I have to protect mine a little bit. But I know some folks in the coastal area, like the close to the ocean, they do well with the Musa, the Florida variegated, the IIs. I don't know how II is that good or not, but it's not that good. The Florida is actually really good banana. It tastes really amazing. That would do okay at my place, but you have to do a little bit of protection. Like I don't need to heat it or anything, just put a little cover around it, and it should do fine at my place. I have had fruiting variegated bananas at my place. It's really good.
Nice. Now tell us your favorite varieties and the ones you have here.
Well, like I said, my favorite were the seeded varieties. I had one in Malaysia, I can't remember the name, had seed in it. One in Indonesia, probably the same variety. It was like a decent sized banana, like a
big seeds, like
seeds, like black hollow big seeds.
They give them to the monkeys out there. Nobody wants to eat them.
There's one in India also, like a big dark orange color outside when ripe. They're about this size, like 6 to 8 inches, and they're like fat and triangular shaped with seeds in them. They're so sweet, they're like candy, but you got the seeds in them, unfortunately. But if you're talking about the seedless bananas, which is what most of us eat here, I would say, so when I came here first, I got this Mysore banana because, that's one of the best varieties in India. It's really good.
It's excellent.
Excellent banana, right? So you got to, and I have been neglecting them because of my other fruit trees. I should be fertilizing it more. Bananas need like 3 to 4 times, maybe even 6 times fertilizing every year. So I'm not sure doing that.
How many varieties of bananas do you have?
Well, when I started with at least 22 to 24 varieties, like 3 or 4 variegated ones, several of all the known varieties one, right? Like the blue, Java blue, the ice cream bean, which is different, the Namwa, the dwarf Namwas, the Rajapuri, the Mysore, Pisang Kelang, Pisang Ceylon, which I think is the same thing, Lakatan, Mysore, Huamua, the Hawaiian banana. Then there's the Pelipita is that one, makes the orange flesh, triangular shaped banana really good. A couple of the pink bananas with the seeded ones. That's a Goldfinger at the end, which is a decent banana. There is dwarf plantains, some of the Vietnamese bananas. But then eventually, you thin it out, and then you kind of keep what you like eating because bananas are so abundant. You kind of tend to ignore them unless they're really good. See, banana is one of the top quality fruits, but they're so easy to grow and abundant. Anything that grows abundantly, you're not going to like it that much just because of the fact that they're so abundant.
Sure. So of all the varieties that you had, which ones did you decide to keep here?
Yeah, I have got rid of like at least 15 varieties. So I only have maybe 10 to 12 varieties left. So this is a Mysore, which is what I planted first. This is a very popular banana in India. A really good one if you fertilize it properly. I have also kept the Lakatan banana, which is a Philippine. It's really good banana. The way you know it's a true Lakatan, you see the reddish. You see the reddish hue on the main vein under the leaves. So the bananas are orange inside. The flesh is orange. They keep in refrigerator well, which most bananas don't. Has no sourness. Believe it or not, most bananas have a little bit of sourness to them. This doesn't. It tastes like candy. I like Mysore. I like Lakatan. I also like Pelipita. They're a softer banana. Orange flesh also. There is a Vietnamese banana I like. That too. Then I have, that's a Rajapuri. Pisang Ceylon. Pisang Ceylon is also a good banana. So yeah, I would say those are my favorite.
Well, so I see here you don't have a banana patch. You have what? How many? 4 stalks?
Yeah, this is 4 stalks of maybe those 2 also. We had a few that got removed, the mother tree in the middle.
Do you keep it small on purpose, or do you let them just grow as many as they want?
Well, I haven't thought about it. I mean, they kind of grow as they want to grow, and we kind of remove the mother tree once it fruits. But besides that, it just stays. Like that one fruited, but this needs a lot of fertilization. The mice are like...
Now, when you say needs, what happens if you don't fertilize it?
Well, you know, eventually the bananas are going to come out, but they're going to delay. So you're going to slow down the fruiting process. So, and now you're going to hit the cold. And now you took a longer time. And also your bananas are not going to taste good. It's going to be more bland side. And they're going to be slow to fruit also. If you fertilize, you're going to get a faster fruit, you're going to get bigger fruit, you're going to get a tastier fruit.
Now, of all these bananas, what's fruiting now?
Fruiting now, there is the Fei banana from Hawaii. I think that's a common term for bananas there, but that's the one they're sold here. That's got a little bit of fruits at the end, the Hawaiian Fei. And then the Lacatan is fruiting. This tree has given me fruits like 3 to 4 years straight. That's a Lacatan. They're not big bananas. They get about 4 or 5 inches.
Now, where are all the leaves on there? Where are all the leaves?
So we removed the leaves on the main mother tree, the one that's fruited, right after the flower kind of stops making new bananas. So you kind of know that, okay, this guy has produced as much fruit as it can. Now it's just going to sit there and just, you know, grow the fruits that is already opened. So at that stage, what they do is they remove the flower, right? Because it's basically like an appendix. Like you don't need that for, it's just sitting there doing nothing. But they also found that if you don't even need the leaves on the top. And then same with that one too. You see that?
Oh, look at that one.
See like everybody thinks that, so why do we even have leaves, right? You photosynthesize the leaves and then make sugar, right? That's where the sugar comes from, right? The sunlight makes the sugar using the chlorophyll in the leaves. So you would think removing the leaf is like a stupid idea. So why would you even do that? You're stopping the sugar. But what people don't realize is leaves just don't give sugar for free. They take up a lot of nutrition too. Like they use up nitrogen, they use up glucose, they use up potassium, which the fruit needs. So they kind of leach also. There is no free lunch in nature. If something gives something, they also take something. They're not making free glucose. People think that's the case, that's not. The root has to constantly supply water and nutrition to keep the leaf alive. Because think of it, if you like focus here on the leaf, okay? If I cut that leaf off, it's gonna brown and die up in a day. So it's taking something out of the tree to stay alive and stay green. And every leaf is like a radiator. So they are losing heat because it's part of the tree. It's losing heat in the winter. And the tree now has to supply heat to maintain the leaves' integrity because it's losing. So it's kind of leaching the tree. It's a bad news for the tree to have a big leaf. Now, the question might be, why don't you cut off all the leaves? Well, you don't want to do that because it has a purpose, which is photosynthesis, creating the sugar. So we didn't remove the leaf in the beginning. We let the leaves do its job. It created the fruit. Now it got all the fruits in there. So now you only remove the leaf from that node. You don't, because these are your future bananas, right? You want to leave those alone. You just don't want to touch any of these on the outside. So you're only removing the leaves on the mother tree. And that too, not right away. That too only at the last few weeks of the fruit harvest. So this will be ready in a few weeks. And we don't want to waste energy on the leaves. We want whatever it's sucking up from the ground to go into that fruit.
What about the flower?
The flower is also, you remove it. Some people keep it, but I don't need to keep it because, I mean, I eat the flower.
What do you mean you eat the flower?
You can take the flower out, you remove the red, the skins, and there's like tiny bananas that are not hatched yet. So you can chop them up and you make a vegetable stir fry or something. It's popular in my place. It's not something I came up with. We grew up eating it.
Sure. So when do you cut the flower?
You cut the flower at the same time you cut the leaves off. It's when the flowers. So every time let's go there when I show you a flower. So you see that? That's the Hawaiian banana. So that's the flower. You see that the bananas are coming on the left, like they're opening.
Okay, there we go.
There's the bananas that are forming there. So you leave everything alone as you are seeing more and more bananas are forming. They're opening up every day and you see a new hand forming. So you keep them doing that until they stop making more bananas. And you're going to always have a bunch of bananas that are not fully developed and they're going to stay in the flower and they're going to slow down big time. So at that point, you know, okay, it has done what it has to do. And now, depending on the fertilization you put, you're going to get more and more fruit. You're going to get the most fruit out of that one flower, depending on the fertilization you put.
The bigger the flower and the more fruit?
No, the more the fertilization, the more fruit it's going to open. No, the flower size is the same. That's the genetics of the plant.
Okay.
But there's going to be a lot of immature bananas inside the flower that's never going to hatch.
Yeah, you're starting to see them coming there inside.
Yeah, so this tree has no fertilization. So it's going to do maybe 10 hands and then quit. If I had fertilized this, it might get like 20 to 30 racks.
But you need a bigger flower for 20 to 30 racks.
No, the flowers are genetic.
Okay.
So that's for each tree is the
Are
same.
the bananas self-pollinating?
Yeah, they don't need different bananas. No, so every flower has almost the same amount of bananas inside. You're not going to get more bananas. What happens is if you fertilize, more bananas are going to open out of that flower. And then you're going to have less bananas in the flower. That's going to getting wasted.
I see.
If you don't fertilize it, like I didn't fertilize this one, you're going to have more than half in the flower underdeveloped. That's going to be never going to make a banana. It's going to stay like a little flower because you didn't give it the nutrition it needs to become bananas.
And do you water these?
Yeah, but not recently. It's been raining here like crazy.
How often do you water them, or do you recommend people water their banana trees?
They like water. You could water them daily, pretty much, especially in a sandy soil like this, which drains fast. Yeah, if it's
There's a rack of bananas over there. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, look at that! I discovered it before he did.
That's how I like how much I like bananas. Yeah, I don't even see this there. Yeah,
Look at
this
that.
is a Hawaiian. It's a good banana. And we removed the flower like you see.
All right, there's a rack of bananas right there.
Yeah, it's the Fei banana from Hawaii. I don't know the exact name.
All right. I know you say like it's not a popular thing to grow because it's so common.
Common and cheap.
Like the bananas here taste nothing like they do in the store. Some people say, why should I grow bananas? I can get them cheap in the store, but they taste nothing the same.
Oh, they're so better.
Yeah.
Like if you try one of my Lacatan bananas, which is what I fertilize it. Like if you properly fertilize a banana, like with manure, a lot of azomite, seaweed, kelp, and all that stuff, humic acid, fulvic acid, you're gonna make like a out of the world banana. It's gonna be like a top 10 fruit. That's how good it is. Like I'm talking about like you got durians, mangoes, mangosteens, lychees. In that category, it's not gonna be a top 5, but it's gonna be like a top 10 fruit.
In terms of like how much fruit a banana tree that is getting fertilization, how much fruit it gives, Where would you rate it with fruits of, as for, we know it's not even a tree, but in terms of the fruit that it's giving, would you say this produces more than most any other fruits in terms of eating wise?
Yeah, I mean, similar to a papaya, right? Like you're gonna get the most fruits in the least amount of time because it's not spending a lot of time making wood, which takes a lot of polysaccharides, you know, the fiber and all that. So it's kind of saving its energy. It's mostly water, the trunk. It takes more energy to make wood. The wood is a fuel, right? You burn it. So it's not wasting its resource on doing that. It's just putting all that energy into fruits.
How many times a year do your bananas fruit?
Like every tree, like maybe once or twice at least. I mean, if I was serious into bananas, you know, which I'm not, but if I was, I could make it fruit like 3 times a year. But, and then not only the mother tree, but most of it's on the side is going to fruit too. You just have to fertilize it on a regular basis and water it.
In terms of the mother tree, some people say once you take the rack off, it's not going to get another rack of bananas, cut it out. But I've heard some people say they might get a second one. What's your experience with that?
Well, I've heard that too, that some rare banana species have had that happen, but the chances are so low, and the chances are high that you can get a banana from the side, one of the suckers, faster. So why even bother? Just cut that off and use it as a fertilizer.
And when you do cut it, where do you normally cut it? Do you cut it all the way at the bottom?
Or do you cut it all the way to the bottom? I'll cut it in 2 sections. So first, because you don't want to fall a big tree, so you want to cut it like halfway and then do another cut. But make sure you don't injure any of the suckers. But I would cut it in 2 installments, like cut it in half and then cut it maybe the next day, cut the rest of it.
Because if somebody cut it halfway, it's still taking nutrition if it's halfway. Right?
Not really.
No, it's going to die out.
You're going to cut it anyways.
Sure.
It's taking nutrition if it's alive.
Sure.
Yeah. Plus, you're not wasting nutrition. You're going to give it back to the tree.
Once you cut it, it's dead?
Yeah.
And I noticed when I cut mine, you know, you cut it here and so much water flushes out. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of electrolytes in it, high in potassium. But that's you can actually juice it and drink it.
I was going to say, have you ever thought about having a pitcher here and cutting it and collecting all that juice that comes out?
You can, but it's going to be very astringent and it's going to oxidize and turn black. Okay. And it's going to be very astringent in your mouth.
Now, what were you saying about juicing? What could you juice?
So the core of the banana is actually edible. So the core, like, it's going to be somewhere in the middle, and you can take it out. You keep peeling until you see it like all the way white part. And, you know, people chop it and cook it. It's very high in electrolytes.
Could you take the banana stalk itself and juice it?
You can. It's not going to be tasting good. Of course you can juice it. Is it edible? Yeah, it's edible, but it has a lot of tannins in it. It's going to make your, like an astringent thing. Yeah.
And I know you have a bunch of variegated, unique varieties.
You want me to show you some of the variegated bananas? I have more bananas on the other side.
And they look just like these here?
They got fruit in it. Many people say that, some people say, okay, I know the leaves are, okay, you need them in the beginning, which I do, but they say the leaves can protect the tree in the winter. I'm like, no. It's like you are naked and you're using your hand to cover yourself. Well, your body might stay a little warm, but your hands are going to freeze off.
Sure.
So, you know, so the leaves are actively losing heat. They might protect from the wind the main tree, yeah, I agreed, but the leaves themselves are losing heat.
In terms of the size, your bananas don't look as tall as I've seen others. Is that
most of mine are dwarf, and these are not the tallest kind, but they are also not fertilized properly, you know.
Right, yeah.
Like, I'll show you a tall tree that's 18 feet tall, just like the variegated banana.
So one thing I noticed, Bobby, tell me if you noticed this. What I noticed is if a banana doesn't get a lot of water, it'll stay shorter and fruit less. But if you water it a lot, it'll grow to its full potential and grow more bananas. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, here we are in this amazing greenhouse. And look at these bananas. Wow, variegated bananas. Wow.
One on the right is the II, and one on the left is the Florida variegated. And the red ones are the Siamese red.
Wow.
And that's also variegated. The Siamese red, it has the green tinge to it, if you noticed. Like, look at that. It's got the green.
Wow.
These are ornamental, they're Siamese red, but those are not. Those are really tasty bananas.
What are they called?
That's Florida variegated. There are like six or eight, I don't know, variegated. You have the double Mahoy variegated. You have the Cavendish variegated. You have the Namwa variegated, the II variegated, the Florida variegated, and
as for the Florida one, like where would somebody buy something like that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm getting some pups I could sell at some point, I guess. But I know somebody in what's the name? Lantana sells them, but you could buy online too. They're expensive bananas.
Where'd you get it from?
I got them online. They are really tasty bananas. It's in my top 3. I would say the variegated banana is like next to Lacatan, like right after it. They're so good.
The variegated Florida.
The variegated Florida. I have had some fruits on mine outside.
Now, so these have to stay warmer?
Not really. I'm keeping them warmer because I just have an option, but they fruited outside for me. I'll send you a picture of my variegated.
Now, how long have you had it?
Oh, they are super fast. They're probably 5 months from like this big.
But how long have you had when did you get the bananas? This year?
Oh, no, the one I got the bananas from were not from this one. This was a tiny seedling like 6 months ago.
Okay. So you're going to plant your pups all around your property?
Yeah, the pups, some of the pups I got outside.
Now, why are these in pots and not in the floor?
They are grown into the ground.
Oh, they came out.
Yeah, look at the pots. Look at the pots.
That's what I was thinking. They're pretty big.
Look at it. Look at
so
it.
they ended up going through the pot into the ground.
Yep. So the whole pot is the trunk. Yeah, I don't want to dig this up.
So now if you were going to keep that, you would have to cut away the pot, or it doesn't help or hurt?
Yeah, I don't care right now. I'll let it fruit.
And that'll still create pups in the pot?
The best thing to do would be to cut the pot out and remove as much plastic as you can, and then pile some dirt around it without removing the tree, and then let it fruit, eat the fruit, chop this off, and when the little one comes out, you harvest them and put them in a new pot. It's not a good idea to remove this before
Are you still going to get pups?
No, that's what I'm saying. You cut the pot first step.
Yeah.
Right? And you put some manure and stuff around it.
Yeah, but if that was in the ground, eventually you'd get pups around the tree.
Correct. And
like
you remove
that, will you get pups in the ground still or no?
You might. Like you see this one getting pups?
Yeah.
This one is trying to get pups, but it's going to be a difficult one. So if you cut the pot, it's going to get pups.
Okay.
You cut it.
Amazing.
If not, it's not going to hurt my feelings. So I'm not worried about that.
What's the worst banana you've tasted that's grown here in Florida?
The worst? I didn't like blue Java that much.
Now, blue Java, some people mistakenly say it's ice cream, but it's not, right?
No. Ice cream banana was sold mistakenly as blue Java, but ice cream is a tall Namwa. They taste identical to the dwarf Namwa. I can show you. I got both. The blue Java is different. The fruit is a lot more bluish green.
Sure. And you didn't like it?
No, they have a different weird texture. Some people actually like that fruit. I'm not saying it's a bad fruit by any means.
Well, that explains a lot because I've tasted it and I didn't think it had a lot of taste, but then I love the Namwa, so that explains a lot what you just said.
What other bananas? Pisang Kelang is a good one. Really good banana. Has a hint of strawberry to it. I really like that.
Nice. What's another one you would recommend people not waste their time with?
Not waste their time? I didn't like the Goldfinger. Then there is a tiny one. I didn't like that. Some people like it. I don't know. You know, if you fertilize your bananas, you're gonna like it.
The one you just mentioned, the strawberry one,
Yeah, pisang kelang
is
or
that
pisang
commonly
Ceylon.
sold here, or is that unique
I
not to get?
think you can buy it online. Pisang Ceylon, Pisangcel. Yeah, see, that's a dwarf namwa.
So these are dwarf, okay. You have a whole banana batch here.
That's a pisang Ceylon. That's a really good banana.
That's the strawberry one you
That's
said?
a strawberry tasting banana. Yeah, really good. That's the one to the right is the tall namwa. That's a tall namwa too. Yep. See, the namwas are short and fat, and that's the tall namwa. We've been eating from this rack.
So do you cut them off the rack, or do you leave them on a rack and just take them off one by one?
I usually take them off one by one, and then you can't keep up with it, then you take the whole thing. So you only get like maybe 10 or so, one at a time, and then you take the whole thing off. But you can take the whole thing off anyways.
But if they turn yellow up there, the animals will get it, right?
Well, depends on depends on you. Maybe you are a bigger animal than the animal itself.
Yeah. Well, so this is a batch of several different varieties here, right?
Yeah, so I have dwarf namwa, tall namwa, pisang Ceylon, and then I had the blue Java, which I think is one of those that didn't fruit. It's one of the tiny ones there.
Now, when you get rid of a banana, how do you get rid of the mat under the banana?
I mean, you can keep it. It's fertilizer. You don't have to get rid of it. If you want to plant a mango tree, just dig a hole and plant it there. You don't need to get rid of it.
If you want to take it out, how do you do that? You got to.
I would not take it off because that's a lot of nutrition you're taking out, and you're going to make a hole that you need to now fill up with something that's worse.
But it's going to keep growing. You got to keep.
No, it's not going to keep growing. Like
No?
if you remove pops like 10 or 12 at a time, like you might have to do it once a month, and it's very easy to do. Eventually, they're going to just not come up anymore.
Okay.
No, they're not like bamboo or some grass or something.
Eventually the pot will, the mat
Yeah,
will
they're
die
just
out.
not going to have enough glucose to maintain anything. So
Okay. Very good, man. Thanks for sharing.
yep. I have another one I probably forgot to tell. It's probably not the best one. It's the Jamaican, the red banana.
I've had the red banana. I didn't like it.
It's not the best either. No.
All right, Bobby. Thank you for showing us, and we got to come around and look again at your trees. Thanks for showing us around, man.
No problem, man. You're welcome anytime.
All right, everybody. I have to be honest with you. After making that video with Bobby, I'm even more excited about my bananas and more excited at getting more bananas because for me, that is food, not a snack. And I eat bananas all the time, and I am really, really getting more disappointed with the bananas in the stores. And so I was so against bananas because of how much work they were doing, but I was just letting them grow too much. But letting them grow just 3 stalks, you can fit them in any small space. They grow easily, and like Bobby said in the video, bananas and papayas are easy. They grow, they fruit quickly, more than once a year. They're really wonderful trees. So get yourself a good banana tree if you're growing anything. Make sure you give it a good amount of water and mulch it, and enjoy. All right, put your comments or questions below of what banana variety is your favorite banana variety, where you're located, and what you're growing. And thank you, Bobby, for being on the show. I am looking forward to getting more Lacatan bananas. I have a couple, but my other bananas, I said in the past, my apple banana, which is right now currently one of my favorite. And I learned something from the video with Bobby about the ice cream banana because I knew it wasn't the blue Java, which is mistakenly called that, but it's not. But what I learned from him was that the ice cream banana is a tall dwarf namwa, or a namwa is a short ice cream banana. And it kind of makes sense because it does taste the same. So now I understand why. So thank you, Bobby, for that. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel. And please share this video with others. I really appreciate my subscribers, all the comments and questions. Thank you so much. And also, I have the camera fixed. So those of you that were complaining about the edges of the camera, I figured out what it was. So that's fixed. It's no more fisheye camera. So I'm excited about that. It really took a lot of time to figure it out, but I finally did. All right. Thank you. I love your comments, your questions, and if you see something that you'd like for an improvement, or if you'd like me to talk about something that I haven't spoken about in the show, or a particular fruit you'd like me to feature, just let me know down in the comments. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing.